Howdy,
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Wednesday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering Eugnostos the Blessed. Was it 79 through 90? That's
buddy.
what that was.
We're going to have a great time going through these blasphemous books on Milwaukee theists.
Oh, that's right. Of course. Yes. And, you know, the whole thing about blasphemous books, I think our congregation is very glad that we are doing these readings for them.
Yes.
Because,
the congregation of the Church of Piety.
Yes. And the reason they're so happy is because they don't have to read this garbage.
Mm-hmm.
We can just read it and then tell them everything that's wrong with it.
We're directing the Holy Spirit, which is called the Mother Father, into them directly.
No, now you're sounding like Eugnostos the Blessed.
Oh my God.
Or should I say the cursed?
No, he's blessed.
Anyways.
he's cursed by God.
Reading out of the Nag Hammadi scriptures, the revised and updated translation is Sacred Gnostic Texts, complete in one volume, edited by Marvin Mayer. With this translation, I believe, also by Marvin Mayer.
Yes, I think the translation was.
Yes, translated by Marvin Mayer.
The introduction, I think, was done by somebody else, though, right?
Yes, that was done by one Madeline Scopello.
Thank you, Madeline.
Yep, Madeline. You
did a great job.
Thing.
All right,
good job. Anyways,
so I'm also kind of so my actual end of my schooling for this degree is coming up finally.
So
right?
You met with your advisor.
I met with Di Valerio, just to talk about how far I was with the actual religious studies degree.
Because Lawrence here didn't pay any attention to the requirements that are put on by the university whatsoever.
No, that's not true. I paid attention to the requirements. I looked at them, saw how many classes I needed to take, right, for which level courses I need to take and which traditions.
Right? I know you gave a nice big glance. A big glance,
yeah. So I was like, okay, so I need to fulfill requirements X, Y, and Z. And I fulfilled the requirements. But then after that, I didn't care. So all the stuff about how many credits I actually have and how many more I need, that stuff I don't know. But I have
been a decade.
Yes.
But you do know the program's requirements. Just
yes.
Not what you've taken.
Right. So I met up with Di Valerio, and he was like, listen, the only thing you need to do to get the degree is the capstone.
Mm-hmm.
But I also need to fulfill the actual credits for the semester. Sorry, not for the semester, for the first for the bachelor's in general.
Yep.
So there's a total amount of credits, and then a certain amount of those are supposed to go towards the degree.
It's 130, I think.
I read 120 something. I don't know.
It depends on the degree.
Either way, the only thing I have left to do for the degree requirements is the capstone paper. And I've been trying to think of what to write it on, because I have quite a few ideas, right? We have written quite a few notes. And I don't know if I should take one of these and, write a paper about it, or if I should, do something else. I don't know.
Well, what you've got to keep in mind is that whatever you write as your capstone paper is probably going to be the writing sample that you send in when you apply for graduate programs.
Right, yeah. So I got to be real good about it.
Yeah, and you should choose something that would appeal to an admissions board for a graduate program. So
Probably,
you should probably not
Marquette.
write about God's titty milk.
Right.
The first thing that
That's
you
a
choose.
good point.
Though it is an interesting topic.
It is. I'll write about that later.
And you probably should not cite David Hillman.
That's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Though you could.
Not going to
He
happen.
is an academic.
Discredited.
A disgraced academic.
The disgraced,
who's not allowed to teach. But he is an academic.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
So am I then.
Directions we can go.
Goddamn.
No, you were never an academic, Chris. You don't
do you
have
mean?
a PhD.
Hey, he, you know what he does? He does a lot of reading pop science articles in the morning.
Really?
That makes him an academic.
I haven't read a pop science article from the pop science article in forever. We talk about this.
Wow.
I only read the links. If they have links, if they don't have links, I'm like, it's bunk.
Like to the actual paper.
For the most part, and I just read abstracts. I'm not really
Right,
a fan
yeah.
And
of
also
reading
not
beyond.
cite Pervo, the scholar
Right.
who likes
Yeah.
children.
Not going to do that. Or Jan Houston.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Which, man, crazy.
You should follow up with
Events.
Homer about what I was talking about with him, which is the gender identity implied by the third person pronouns used in Genesis.
Oh, okay.
That would get you into graduate school.
Yeah, see
They would love to see you imply that God is non-binary or trans.
Well, either way, that would require me to know Hebrew. Which is also something that they look for like different languages.
Yeah, you should
So-
know Hebrew. So like between this semester and next semester,
I gotta learn Hebrew.
you have Tomer right here.
Yeah, that's right, Tomer. You're gonna have to teach me
You
Hebrew.
will get more Hebrew practice than you have in all of your Greek classes if you just talk to Tomer every day in Hebrew.
All right, I'm gonna do that.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm gonna butcher everything and make him very, very mad.
That's how it works.
Yep, that's gonna happen.
Anyways,
I mean, I do have a book on biblical Hebrew grammar, so I guess I could just start reading that
or you could just write something about the Russian Orthodox Church and
and do it in Russian too. Yeah,
Russian and Greek.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's like a huge niche and it's topical.
Right? Yeah, topical.
Yeah.
That's a very good
Anyways.
point. Yeah.
Why don't we read this shit?
No, this has been one of the best books we've read.
It is. It is one of the best books we've read. I'd put it up there around like on the origin of the world.
We'll
and the
rate it at
gospel
the
of
end.
truth.
Right, but
We'll let
it's
you know what we
rate
think.
it at the end.
Yeah.
it's far funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funnier, but like the material is more interesting in general than
That
in
is
some of
accurate.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is way more interesting than the Shepherd of Hermas.
Oh
No
my
offense,
God. Yes.
But
The Shepherd of Hermas was kind of funny, but it was like interspersed with like just the most boring shit. Like
no.
here's a whole bunch of mountains.
Whoa, whoa,
I
those
describe
rocks.
it to
Those
people
sticks.
as like a book where a homeless guy moves into someone's
Yes,
house
that's
and
the
then brings
great-
his naked homeless
Yes.
girlfriends with him.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's my favorite conspiracy theory from that.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
Anyways, we're talking about the pattern among the immortals today. At least that's what we're starting with. Then we're going to talk about like Sophia and shit.
Right. Yeah. We can see how many links this has to the other Gnostic texts we've read.
Yes. As I said before about what was produced, the one is first, then the two, then the three, up to the tens. The tens dominate the hundreds dominate the thousands dominate the 10,000s. This is the pattern among the immortals.
All right. Brilliant. A hierarchy.
Now we're
Which is what they were describing before. But if you remember the last text we read, their hierarchy was so much more complicated.
Yes. Now we're on to 7.
Yeah.
Because as we've noted before, the book shifts back in how it's noted. We were on 78. Now we're on 7
Right.
because they're different manuscripts.
Right. So the two manuscripts,
It's a reference to what page number they have in the collection.
these are different tractates, right?
Yeah.
So what we were reading from before was from Tractate 3. And yeah, so Tractate 3, page 79, essentially. And then we have, was that 70? Or no, it was, I think it was technically 70, 78. But if we're continuing on with this numbering, it's gonna come back because this section here is, or the next few sections, is going to be from Tractate 5, pages 7 through 9.
Yes.
So it is kind of complicated because they're taking from different tractates.
And what we're reading
it's the same
is
work.
Eugnostos the Blessed from the Nag Hammadi Scriptures, edited by Marvin Mayer.
Yes, that is what we are reading.
Yep. So we've got the tens dominating the hundreds dominating the thousands dominating. So what they're saying is it's like a pyramid, right?
Right, yeah.
Oh, it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
They're telling you right there.
The one is first, then the two, then the three.
Yeah.
I get all the money. You get a bit, guys. And the rest of these people, they don't get anything, okay?
A Bitcoin?
Wow.
Because that's a lot.
It currently is.
Yeah.
The one in thought belongs to the one and thought. See, they
So that would be the one, like, high. That's the forefather, I'm guessing,
yeah,
right?
but they capitalized one previously, and here it's not capitalized. There's
Oh.
no footnote. I don't know if it's the same one, but
Good point, yeah.
the one and thought belongs to the immortal human. Insights are for the tens, the hundreds are teachings, the thousands are counsels, the 10,000s are powers. Those who come from textual break they exist with their textual break.
Oh, no.
In every realm, textual break.
Wow.
Now we're on 8.
Yeah, so monad would kind of make sense there, especially if it's not capitalized in this translation. But yeah, with the other stuff, right, for anyone that missed the stuff on Eugnostos the Blessed, it's very, very Platonic.
Yes. Extremely Platonic.
So you have
Neoplatonic.
the forefather.
Middle-Platonic.
Thank you. So you have the forefather who, I guess he has to think everything into existence, essentially. So in order to do that,
Well, no, the forefather thinks of himself, and
Right,
his
and then-
self-concept is the father who thinks everything into existence.
right, there you go. Yeah.
Yes. Will you ever visit Egypt? Probably not.
That would be cool.
It would be
But
cool.
probably not, 'cause I
don't
hate-
see
I hate
myself-
traveling.
Yeah, I don't like traveling. I don't want to learn what language do they
Arabic.
speak Arabic there, or do they speak some like Egyptian Arabic? That,
Well, it's the different
Yes.
dialects, but it's still Arabic. But there are different dialects.
see, it would just be like a pain in the ass to try and communicate with anyone.
I know, like, if you go to like a big city like Cairo or something, like a lot of people do know English.
Oh yeah, but I mean, if you go to a big city anywhere in the world, a lot of people know
True.
English.
True.
Which is why English is going to be the universal language once we unite under one language.
It might be.
It's
Guys,
so
it was
widely
England's
spread.
doing. Don't even give anything credit other than that.
Yeah. Either way, I think it would be interesting to go to Egypt, though. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Anyways, it's extremely important that you textual break. Because if you don't, textual break.
That's so good to know. Thank you, Reuben.
I'm glad that I was able to deliver these teachings from
Eugnostos the Blessed.
Gnostus the Blessed.
Yeah.
The Cursed.
Right, of course, the cursed. Yes.
Because
Wait,
we're
no,
LARPing
no,
as
no.
theists today.
This guy's Terry the Based.
Yeah, Terry the Based. Did you see the Terry the Based fan
Fanfic?
fiction?
Yeah, I think Natalie posted that one.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. We're adding that to our canon.
Oh, okay.
So the Eric Wander Mad Libs AI
Okay.
that's in our canon. That's how Prisoner whatever dies.
Right, yeah.
And then we're adding this fan fiction to our canon for
works.
the Church of Piety.
And still no ending to
Ahikar.
Ahikar.
Still none.
What the hell is wrong with you guys?
It's because the fact that we've brought it up this many times that no one will do it.
That
now.
is ridiculous.
Also,
Listen, we have
Lawrence
half
diss track.
Yes, the Lawrence diss track. We have half a
Yes.
story Ahikar, we have half the story.
I think the Lawrence
The rest of it
older joke.
doesn't exist. We need you to just write the ending, and that's a practice in creative writing.
Watch,
Why
it's
haven't you
gonna
not
be
done that?
It's going to be that person who's been watching all of our things in order and commenting on every single thing.
True.
That
Probably
person
that.
will write the fan fiction. I guarantee you. We have our chosen one.
Oh. Please continue to watch all of our videos from beginning to end. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're on to 8. In the beginning,
We're there.
thought and insights came from mind, and then teachings from insights, counsels from teachings, and power from counsels. After all the attributes, all that was revealed came from his powers. From what was created came what was fashioned. From what was fashioned came what was formed. From what was formed came what was named. The differences among what was conceived came from what was named, from beginning to end, by the power of all the eternal beings.
There's so much Plato.
Yeah, well, there's a lot, actually. There's a lot of varying natures here.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so we have like a genetic argument,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's from X, Y,
We've
from
got
Y.
forms finally. Like definitively.
Oh, yeah.
Forms have been not around yet, and from forms come these names, and we haven't had those yet.
Well, not quite. So they name
quick question. So I don't remember. You probably ran across this in your philosophy courses. So when Plato's talking about forms, do you know the Greek word that he uses for it? Is it morphe? Or is it a different one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I never read it in Greek.
No, I know, but like sometimes they like to add in like parentheses, like transliteration of the Greek word.
No, it wasn't in anything I read.
Okay, fair enough.
But I mean, the concept of the form is pretty clear.
Sure, yeah.
It's just the idealized X of whatever it is you're talking about, which exists in form space and like interacts with objects somehow.
Right, yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. But here it's a little different. So they phrase it as in the beginning. So they're obviously parodying Genesis.
And they're parodying the Septuagint version of Genesis.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're saying that this is the origin of this is where Genesis starts, right? In the beginning, there's thought, because prior to which there
Because
would be...
in order to do anything, you need to have the thought to do it.
Think about it.
Because all of reality is the
Thought, yeah.
forefather
True.
who's thinking.
Right.
Yeah. So there would be no processes going on prior to thought, so there would be no beginning
Sure,
of
yeah.
any processes. So in the beginning, there's thought and insight. So this might be like...
This is thought and then self-reflection maybe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thought and self-reflection. This came from mind. And so mind is this pre-existent thing prior to the beginning that exists within the forefather.
You don't mind that, do you?
Man, I love how the same word can have different definitions.
Mind your manners.
Dude, Chris is coming at me like a fucking truck. Jeez.
So teachings
I'm just
come
funny.
from
I don't
insights.
know.
Teachings come from insights. Counsels come from teachings, and power from counsels. So it's like you relay information. The information is relayed to people who are able to do things, and then effectual things happen in the world. But that's strange because later on it says, from what was created came what was fashioned. From what was fashioned came what was formed. From what was formed came what was named. And if they're using named in the context that I think they are, then I don't understand. Because like Confucius, when Confucius uses named, he's referring to using like words, like any kind of word, the name of a noun, the name of an adjective, right? So if that's the case, I don't see how these thoughts can be communicated in counsels and teachings.
You have to remember that this is probably parodying Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
So from what was created came what was fashioned. So if the created thing is like the Father, so from the Father came what was fashioned, which would be like the earth and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then continue through that. So created
From what was
fashioned.
fashioned came what was formed.
Okay. So this would be... Okay. So I guess this is where I'd have to check this. I don't know the Greek that they use here.
Okay, so fashioned things in my mind, because they talked about this before with the perishable and the imperishable. Fashioned things are imperishable. They're made by the gods. They can't be destroyed. They're above concepts.
Well,
They're like tools that define concepts. And then they make forms, which are the concepts.
Okay, so I guess
it's not a
the
capitalized formed.
I don't know then.
Okay, so
could
the
just be
earth would be
referring
formed,
to,
but then the
like-
Father and all of his powers, I guess, right?
Well, by fashioned, they could be referring to like raw goods, and formed
Right.
could be like processed goods. But then they go on to say, from what was formed came what was named. The differences among what was conceived came from what was named.
Oh.
From beginning to end, by the power of all eternal beings. And if that is the case,
And that would be all happening before.
well, then how could you have this prior series of thought and insight to teachings to counsels, right? Because that sounds like a communicative thing. And if you don't have a differentiation between objects or thoughts or etc. until later on by virtue of them being named, then I don't see how, like, within just the deterministic process, they could have done this, right? It seems like one is required prior to the other.
So I guess for me, because we have seen some links between the Genesis story, we have to remember God called the light good, right? He said like it is good, right? He called the light day and the darkness night. So that's the process of naming things, right? So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like a preemptive kind of parallel to it, right? So like this would be describing, perhaps the nature of. Well, I guess we'd have to go on to to see if.
Well, it says outright the differences among what was conceived came from what was named.
Right. Yeah.
Right, and so that implies that there is a process going on, and that these aren't simultaneous things by any means. But it just seems strange if they're using insights, counsels, power, etc., as just like a father thing or a forefather thing, and they're considering that categorically different, then maybe, but it seems like it can't be considered categorically different.
Yeah, it seems like they, like whoever the author is, it seems like there are quite a few things that we've already ran into that do just contradict other things that they've said. You remember the thing about the powers?
There are self-contradictory things. Maybe the point is like with koans, right? You're not necessarily trying to convey any kind of linguistic information when they say, what's the sound of one hand clapping?
Oh.
They're trying to invoke a contrast in order to bring about a psychological state through the...
Sure, it could be a
asking
rhetorical
the question.
device then.
Right. So it could be a rhetorical device.
It would be weird to like...
But it is weird. It's just thrown into this like clearly a parody of Genesis.
Right, yeah. We also have to remember this is from a different track date.
Yes.
So there might be some, I don't know, some issue there.
Mm. Strange that they would begin this section, like, as I said before, and then go on
Right,
to,
yeah.
like, in the beginning, right? Anyways, let's continue on. The immortal human is full of all unfading glory and ineffable joy. His whole kingdom and those never heard of or known in any of the aeons that came after them in their worlds rejoice in everlasting joy.
Oh, okay.
So there's an allowance here for this whole category of beings within this aeon to exist that aren't mentioned anywhere because
Right,
they're
but-
unknown. You don't know.
But apparently they're happy,
I don't
though.
know.
Oh yeah, they're partying hard.
Yeah.
All right. New subsection. The child of God and Sophia, love, appears. After that, another power came from the immortal human, the self-perfected one who conceives. When his companion, great Sophia, came together with him, disclosed the first begotten androgyne.
Androgen, yeah. So it would androgynous.
Called the first child of God.
Okay, so this is also that. Is this also that androgynous
it's weird.
hermaphroditic Adam?
Well, maybe this is a parallel to the other process, because what we saw earlier was that the mother father Barbelo is the womb of creation, right? So Sophia here, maybe it's a parallel to the father, mother, father, Messiah child.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
And it's becoming a Father Sophia immortal human child. So it's a different process. We'll get into it.
Right, yeah.
The first begotten androgyne, called the first begotten child of God. 9.
9.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Or son of God. The female name of the child of God is first begotten Sophia, mother of the universe, whom some name love.
Even though, I mean, yeah, so this is wisdom, right? Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess it's also called love.
Yeah, but the female name of the child of God
Gotta love it.
is first begotten Sophia. I think they're just saying that it's Sophia's child.
Sure, okay.
The first begotten with authority from his father, created and exalted eternal being for his own majesty, as well as angels, myriads without number to serve him. The whole 81.
Yeah, now we're on 81.
We went from 9 to 81.
We're flipping to the other tractate.
Yeah.
Back to tractate 3.
I understand.
Good.
The whole multitude of angels is designated the assembly of the holy, luminaries with no shadow. When they greet one another, their embrace becomes angels like themselves. Okay, so they can reproduce.
No, every time they hug, they make more
becomes
angels.
But they,
To be fair,
they're light. They're luminaries with no shadow.
Right, yeah. Which it's always kind of interesting that, like even though it completely makes sense, what we wouldn't expect it to be any different. It's always interesting, just like, like lighting a match, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like seeing that it doesn't cast a shadow. Like, of course not. Why would it? Like, if there's like a light on the match, like there would be no reason for it to have a shadow, right? Because it produces light.
But keep in mind that this is luminaries they're talking about.
Right.
They're talking about the stars, right?
Sure, yeah.
The
They also
lights
cast
without shadows.
Yeah.
It just seems like a pure light somewhere in the sky.
Right, yeah.
And keeping that in mind, the next bit will be a little more interesting.
But I'm just saying it's interesting to specifically note that there's no shadow.
Yes. Because it's a platonic image.
Oh, right, of course,
right?
yeah.
It's the form
Right.
of act. It would not be imperfected.
It's
right?
the fire itself.
Yeah, the fire itself.
Sure.
The illumination. The first conceiving father is called Adam of light.
Oh, okay.
The kingdom of the child of humanity is full of ineffable joy and eternal praise.
So this would be
Or son of man.
right. Because the first thing is it would be man of light, right? Because Adam, I'm pretty sure, just means man, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So man of light, that would be the first one. But also called the son of man, you said?
The first conceiving father is called Adam of light. The kingdom of the child of humanity is full of ineffable joy and eternal praise. It seems like a non sequitur if we don't assume that the child of humanity is Adam of light.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Is this the author's way of saying like this Adam is the platonic form of humans?
Sure.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, he is literally named man.
I could believe
he's,
that.
He's named, but he says also in
Adam
there,
of light, so he would be the form of man.
But also, doesn't it also call him son of man in there?
The child of humanity, yes.
Right, yeah.
Is that different?
Well, because it just means human, right? But the thing is, it would only mean human. Like, is he the son of man? Is he the son of a man? No.
It could be translated as son of man.
Right.
But he's not categorically the son of a man.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, which is why it's just weird to me that they would say that this is, a son of man.
Well, it could also be a reference to his children, right? The kingdom of the child of humanity.
Yeah.
Wouldn't exist when he first
pops
up, right? He would have to create it.
That's fair. It could be referring to that kingdom. Yeah.
Those in the kingdom constantly rejoice in ineffable joy over their imperishable glory, which has never been heard and never been revealed to all the aeons that have come to be and their worlds.
All right.
Now I will pass it off to you
to
continue on.
All their worlds. Yeah, and it looks like we're only going to be. Oh wait, no, never mind. Yeah, we skipped that. So this next section, the Savior, Pistis, Sophia, and 6 spiritual beings appear.
Yes, 6 spiritual beings.
I love spiritual beings.
It's great. It's great when they appear.
Hopefully they cause a little bit of havoc.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. Continuing on here. Then the child, the son of humanity, came together with his companion Sophia and produced a bright androgynous light.
Okay. Right, and androgynous light.
Because this is like almost the same thing as we had before, right? Except now we're talking about a specific light. Even though that would be man, it would be that Adam, right? That is that first
Jesus
Adam.
doesn't bang Sophia. Sophia gets banged by the Father and produces Adam.
And then it looks like
Adam of light, not Adam
right,
of light.
Right. And then that Adam came together with his companion Sophia and produced an androgynous light.
Yes.
And now we're on to 82.
Which is his mom, by the way.
Yes.
But
hey, maybe they're reading the Genesis story better than
maybe they've
people.
read like some Greek literature.
Yeah, that too. The masculine name of the light. Here we go.
Yes.
The masculine name of the light is Savior.
Okay. So, yes, this is the messianic figure.
Yeah. The one who conceives all, and the feminine name is Sophia, the one conceiving all. Some call her Pistis, faith, which, Pistis means faith. But it could also mean a lot of other things in Greek. So there is a phrase I've mentioned on the show before. There's a phrase, pistis ekbiou, which means proof from life. But essentially it's like anecdotal evidence in that case, but it's like it's the reason you believe. That's pistis. So like that could be like the way we usually translate as faith, right? Mm-hmm. But in Greek, the term has a wider variety of meanings.
Yeah. So I would say, why do you believe in God? And the proper response would be, my pistis is XYZ.
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
If we were to
or
just use Greek words in English like that.
Right. Which is something we do with other languages.
It is.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do it with Greek.
Yeah.
I mean,
but the thing is, even in that case, like English has the advantage of having many, like a whole lot more synonyms than Greek does. So we can be a lot clearer on that.
We have a wider vocabulary because we've had more access to written materials that allow us to explore a wider vocabulary.
What's the Greek word for synonyms? That's important.
I don't fucking know.
Gotta know.
But it's actually kind of funny because I'm pretty
Isn't
sure.
it?
So actually, this is funny. Synonym is, to me, it kind of sounds like a combination of two Greek things. You have sun and probably is it from? It might be from no. Is it from nomina? So it'd be like name, like a name, or like like a name. And then sun is a prefix that usually denotes togetherness. So some gathering together of names. What's the etymology for?
Yeah, the etymology, synonym from Middle English, synonym, from Latin, synonymum, from Ancient Greek, synonymon, neuter singular form of synonymos, from sun and onoma.
So
with
name.
and name.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So sun onum.
Yeah.
Hey, audience, you
Onomos,
learning yet? There you go.
Yeah, there you go. You're welcome. But also, I wasn't that far off there. So
Vaguely.
So, let's continue on, I suppose. The Savior. Oh no.
Ashura isn't around in this canon.
Yeah, no, not in this one.
Yeah, we haven't run into Ashura once.
No, because
in
by
any Nag Hammadi scriptures.
no, why would you? Because by the time
she shows up, I believe she's some sort of like a pole floating in space and time outside of all the other space and time.
Oh, you know what? From this,
Yeah.
that's probably it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a pole.
Yeah, she's one of the unnamed, unknown ones.
There you go.
Yep. So
An Ashra pole.
Yes, now Jesus bangs his mom in this story.
well, no.
He bangs
Here's the thing.
Sophia,
Adam bangs his mom.
but Adam is the Jesus of this story.
No, but we also have
he's the
Savior.
Savior.
No, Savior's gonna be. He's not the Savior. His son is the Savior. That light that that him and his mother brought together, that they created, that they spawned.
Oh, I see. Yes, the Immaculate Conception is the incestuous relationship between Adam and his mom.
Yes. And then it continues. The Savior came together with his companion Pistis Sophia.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So that's
And his grandma.
both his mother and his grandma.
His grandest mother.
But it looks here. They see on Pistis Sophia. Oh, it just says cross reference, like on the origin of the world and stuff like that. So,
Thank you, Natalie.
5 gifties.
Congratulations, Brett, Nitty,
Kip.
Speed Romans. Nice name. And
Evangela.
Evgenia. Yeah. Either way, thank you very much for that. And this is great. What a perfect time to give people gifted memberships.
Yes.
Wonderful timing.
Right, yeah. And hopefully, I hope of all people, Kip learns some stuff, because he's gotta learn more about how Jesus.
Man, the Gnostics are wild. They're like, look, we're going to talk about the mother father that's androgynous. We're going to talk about God's titty milk. And we're going to talk about Jesus fucking his grandma, who's also his mom.
Right. Yeah. This is like that. What's that joke?
What a time to be alive, folks.
Yeah.
I will tell you something hilarious after the show that is somehow related to this that
Yes.
I cannot say on the show.
Terry the
all right.
Based.
Good call.
Terry the Based.
Yeah. Yeah. So Terry's doing a great job here.
I am really laughing. I wish I could tell you.
But here's what they do, right? Came together with his companion, Pistis Sophia, and they disclosed. But even though it's his companion, right? So they call her his companion. But
they just every single like interaction between a being that we've had so far has been
it's some kind of reproduction, right?
some kind of reproduction.
But you'll
so
see.
what
you'll
is
see.
the production of the Savior and wisdom?
Well, let's see. It says they disclosed. they disclosed 6 androgynous spiritual beings who are similar to those who preceded them.
Yeah.
These are the male names. This is so funny. This is so like Hellenistic philosophy.
All right.
Like you're going to love this.
Okay.
Here are the male names. First, unconceived. Second, self-conceived. Third, one who conceives. Fourth, first to conceive. Fifth, all conceiving. And sixth, chief creator.
Okay. Every single thing is some kind of exploration on the theme of conception.
Yeah.
Yes.
Except the last guy, maybe.
Still
Still related.
Still related, yeah.
Well, in a way, these are all still references to the Father, right?
They are, but then they're also...
you have to keep in mind...
They're also telling you the layers of creation, right? So we
Yes.
have things that are unconceived, then self-conceived. Yeah.
And I imagine there's going to be parallels with the first of the female and...
Yes, there are going to be female ones as well.
But we have to keep in mind that all of this is within the forefathers' mind, within the Father's mind. Within the Father's mind, within the forefathers' mind.
Yes.
And so he's still engaging in self-reflection.
Right.
That's still the process that's going on. All of these things are just different aspects of his self-reflection.
Yeah. So here are the female names. First, all-wise Sophia. Second, all-mother Sophia.
Okay, so when it says his companion Sophia, they're not necessarily referring to the same character Sophia. It's still the same like substantial thing,
Right.
Like the conceiver is, right? But they're different emanations, kind of like the Kabbalists, right?
Yeah.
They have these different emanations.
Yeah.
I'm sure Tomer's met some Kabbalists.
Probably, yeah.
Shares-
Also, Simone is into that kind of stuff, too.
Oh, yeah, share
in the
some
Discord.
Kabbalist stories in chat. I'm sure it's wacky and wild.
So first, all-wise Sophia. Second, all-mother Sophia. Third, all-conceiving Sophia. Fourth, first conceiving Sophia. Fifth, love Sophia.
Right,
And then-
because love was one of the names given to the procession.
And then sixth, Pistis Sophia.
Okay, and so here also what I pointed out...
And now we're on 83.
Yeah, what I pointed out earlier with it being a parallel with the Barbelo story. Perhaps they're just using Sophia and Barbelo or some such names interchangeably. Because here the mother father would still be within the thoughts of the forefather still. Right?
Yeah. It's interesting to see though they have like the parallels basically hold up until we get to number 5, right? So we have fifth all conceiving, right? So and then fifth love Sophia. So
Okay. Shabbatai Svi, this guy walked around with a fish inside a cradle and gave Kabbalistic reasons for it. He also
Okay.
he reinterpreted common prayers because they only have the block text. They didn't have the vowels.
Sure.
He would reinterpret them as like, hey, it's actually encouraging you to sin.
nice.
And he would like go around eating pork and shit. in
What a
the
cool
Jewish
guy.
community. Yeah. He converted to Islam, I believe, while still claiming to be the Jewish Messiah.
That's funny.
That's
Very
something
interesting guy.
crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. How do you even do that? He's like, no, I'm
No,
the last prophet.
it was like a life or death thing.
Oh,
From what
okay.
I remember, it was like, hey, convert to Islam or either be executed or imprisoned forever.
Sure. Okay.
Ex-imprisoned.
Then the other one that's paralleled here is, of course, Pistis Sophia and the chief creator.
Yes.
So
The wisdom of faith and the chief creator are parallel to each other.
or it could be, because there's so many ways you can interpret this, right?
Mhm.
Oh, I think we would need to read more stuff on Pistis Sophia.
We should read more stuff on Pistis Sophia.
Yeah, I think just to
In fact, I think there are whole Pistis Sophia texts that we haven't gone over.
I think there's a text called Pistis Sophia that we haven't read.
We need to do.
We have that text?
We might have it.
Well, if you do, we should do that next.
That would make a lot of sense.
Wouldn't it, though?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But there's also, let's see what's coming up after this, the wisdom of Jesus Christ.
Well,
There's quite a few ways we can approach that. But either way, I think for a more full understanding of that, we'd have to read the other text. Either way, from the it is a union. From the union of those I have mentioned, thoughts appeared in the existing eternal realms, and from thoughts, reflections. From reflections, considerations. From considerations. From considerations, reasoned statements. From reasoned statements, wills. From wills, words.
So, again, how do you get words without reasoned statements? How do you get reasoned statements without words? That doesn't make any sense.
Because
hold
it's
on.
the thought that counts, right?
Listen,
But keep in mind that it parallels.
But you don't need it in words.
Ruben, there is inbuilt reasoning in in our psychology wherein you could demonstrate a number of things to even just in animals. Like they have an understanding of some versus many or one versus a few. They have ideas.
Yeah, but that's
without
not
words.
That's not what's being.
It said
covered
reasoned
here.
statements was the weird thing.
Reasoned statements.
Yeah,
You could reason that you have a some as opposed to a few without having words.
reasoning. Yes, that's something, but it is
But
weird that
providing a reasoned statement
right.
Yeah, that doesn't. You're
on
right. This is
that
getting hard.
requires you to have words with which you can provide a statement.
Right.
It's not a statement if it's just like a private reasoning that doesn't require any kind of like.
So what about
conceptual
nonverbal? Is there a way to do a nonverbal statement?
You would still be functionally creating a word.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
Nonverbal communication is arguably still words.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is bathroom, right? Usually, and so.
You know what's funny? I think
this is a word. It's not a spoken word, but it's still like a conceptual
you're
framing
right.
of something that's communicated.
is this really in bathroom? And
That's what we used with like autistic. I don't know if
Interesting.
like it's the official
Okay.
American Sign Language.
because I think in Russia this means fuck you.
Wow. There's also
That's
like all
great.
done.
Right? Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why that's all done, but that's all done.
Right, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, aside from just the one where they're statements, I think I suppose it can make some sense.
Mhm.
You really force it to.
But reasoned statements implies some kind of logical, right? Like if I provide you a reasoned statement, I don't just say P. A reasoned statement is P, then Q, P, therefore Q.
Sure, yeah.
Right? That's
Or maybe just this is supposed to be a reasonable statement. Like this could be just an issue of translating.
well, maybe.
Yeah.
But it parallels the previous process. So what we're seeing is like layers of the same thing going on. Much like the Sophia thing is like a layer of the same thing with the Barbalo story. We're seeing a layer of the same semblance of thought to words.
Right, yeah. All right, let's continue on here. More spiritual powers appear as symbols of time.
Okay.
And we haven't had much discussion about time in these Gnostic works.
No, usually we don't cover that. They seem to have a strange understanding of like causal chains in general.
Right, yeah, that is true. So let's continue on here. The 12 powers I have discussed came together with each other, and each disclosed 6 males and 6 females for a total of 72 powers. So each of them had their own, right?
Yeah.
Each of the 72 in turn disclosed 5 spiritual powers, bringing the number to 360 powers. They are united in will.
Now, keep in mind that this has popped up before. The 360 is like a very important number within
Gematria
the
thing.
tradition. Yeah, like
For sure.
It's also, it popped up in Enoch. They
Yeah,
do
it's
the
popped
same
up
thing.
everywhere.
Pops up everywhere.
I mean,
But
to be fair,
but there's a-
360 is the days of the years they
Right.
had before we even considered adding extra stuff, I think.
Right, yeah. That was a very common like
Calendar.
length, yeah.
And it makes sense if you keep in mind what they're
Also, like
proposing.
360 degrees.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Xbox.
Well, yeah, you do a 360 and walk away.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But no, there's if you keep in mind that they're talking about the luminaries, they're talking about Adam of Light and his kingdom of the children of Adam of Light, right? So it would make sense that they would use this kind of explanation to describe why there is something like a procession of different constellations, for example, throughout the course of the year, that these series of different children and they're moving about, right?
The 12th
Sure,
heaven
yeah.
in Enoch or whatever, with the 360 different entities right above the 11th, which was the constellations. So this is right on that.
You see all those numbers, like I think I know which part you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I've completely forgotten like the actual numbers assigned because it's just like
There's so many numbers.
I was
so
pretty
many.
sure because that one stood out to me specifically, so I do remember that one.
sure, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think everything's cool, so I don't remember it all that easily.
Either way, these are all united in will. In this way, immortal humanity came to symbolize our realm. The first one to conceive, 84.
Whoa.
Right, yeah. The son of immortal humanity functions as a symbol of time. The savior symbolizes the year. The 12 powers are symbols of the 12 months. The 360 powers who derive from the savior stand for the 360 days of the year.
Okay.
And the angels who came from them and who are without number stand for the hours and moments.
That explains everything.
And that one, let's see, on this section, cross-reference the Gospel of Judas. Yeah, that one lines up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also lines up with the Enoch story, right? That we have
Yeah, it
similar
does, yeah.
explanations of the luminaries.
And now onto this next section. Eternal realms appear. As soon as those whom I have discussed appeared, the all-conceiving one, their father, moved to create 12 eternal realms to serve the 12 angels. Now, wait, I forget. So were the angels actually created in this book, or were those one of the assumptions from other Gnostic works?
No, the angels are explicitly said to be created by the child of man.
Oh, are those the
Big hugs.
the 12? Are those supposed to be the same as the 12 powers?
I think so. Why else would you have the same number associated with them?
Yeah, I'm not
It
sure.
also said earlier that the Son of Man, or Adam of Light's kingdom, had myriads of angels that were created for it, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So they are in there. They are explained.
All right. So either way, one realm for each of these. In each realm, there were 6 heavens.
Okay. Of course, because it has to go 6, then 5, then...
And it always has to be a different number too, right? Because sometimes we get like heavens that have, we have 10 heavens or 7, right?
No, it sounds like they're about to do the same thing, where it goes from 12, then each of them has 6. And
Oh, well,
then
yeah,
it
you know what?
proceeds to 5,
Yeah, looks like you're
and
right.
then they have 360 at the end. Again.
Yeah, in each realm there were 6 heavens, and thus there are 72 heavens. Yep. With the 72 powers who came from him. In each of the heavens there were 5. This gets better.
Mhm.
In each of the heavens there were 5 firmaments.
Whoa.
This is actually really cool, because if you have 6 heavens, right? How are you going to divide those? 5 firmaments.
Firmaments.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like the D&D lore looking stuff where they have those layers of planes, or even
Yes.
just maybe that's where they get those images like from. You know what I mean?
Well, it's something similar to this. I doubt they were reading Eugnostos the Blessed, but
No, there's lots of visual metaphors and imagery that
No,
are
the
similar.
Gnostic stuff is very recently found and arranged, and I highly doubt that in 1970s.
Yeah, no, it's
scary
not
guy
the
They would have
D&D
looked it out, yeah.
specifically. But no, I mean, in terms of just imagery of layered heavens, you have to have those separating lines. So
Right.
it makes sense. It's kind of neat.
yeah, you have to. But the thing is, this is something that's actually pretty clear in. Well, it's pretty clear in biblical texts and like Babylonian stuff, where the firmaments, right, the things dividing heavens, are solid.
Mm-hmm.
They're solid things. So if you want to divide those, you put a divider, and that is the firmament. Or you have many firmaments, right?
Well, how do you divide liquids and gases? Do you put a solid between
Solid
them?
between them, yeah. That is, kind of what they're going with. But either way, in each of the heavens there were 5 firmaments. Or sorry, no, never mind. This is in each of the heavens. There were 5.
Okay,
so this is
instead
even
of
more.
thinking
Never
of
mind.
it as a stack, you can think of it as like a series of walls, right?
But it's within each
But
one of those.
they have 5.
So it's actually the firmaments are within each heaven.
Yes.
Okay, so never mind there.
Well,
like,
that's
I mean,
confusing.
separating them. Well, then I'm not sure how the separation will work. Let's see how they do their math. Tomer, do some math.
Multi-brain physics topology.
Look, maybe it's a cube with an open face.
Oh,
Right, yeah, maybe.
Open face, yeah.
That's a
Because
good one.
that allows travel between them.
True, yeah. So in each of the heavens, there were 5 firmaments for a total of 360.
Yep.
Firmaments of the 360 powers who came from them. Now we're on 85. Whoa. When the firmaments were completed, they were referred to as the 360 heavens.
Of course.
Yeah, because you got to divide them like that. After the name of the heavens that existed before them. All of them are perfect and good. So we're kind of getting to the point where they've named things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of paralleling the thing before, right?
Yeah.
Words.
The names.
So this book is literally just parallel after parallel after parallel after parallel with different words communicating the same basic things.
Yeah, and of course, looking like there was also a similar description in that same section of the Gospel of Judas. Yeah.
Wonder if they copied a lot. I mean, who's the original?
Well,
whatever,
the thing
you know?
is, instead of copying,
or inspired
it's from the same Gnostic sect.
sect. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they would have had like this, generally the same
Like
beliefs.
you would expect Democrats to write similar things to other Democrats.
Right, yeah. You would expect.
Not my Democrats.
This is how the defect. Oh my God.
What? What?
Tell us about the defect.
Yeah, this was so unexpected.
Okay.
This is how the defect of femaleness became apparent. That was.
Oh no!
Terry the Based, everyone.
Oh, he's living up
Yeah,
to his
Ben
name.
Sears showed up.
That was so unexpected.
Yeah.
Holy
There was
shit.
nothing even really like sexist in here.
In fact, it seemed pretty friendly towards
I was
the
thinking
female
the same
characters.
thing. Like, it was incredibly friendly towards any particular
Right,
gender,
yeah.
feel,
Yeah,
vibe, whatever.
Eugnostos the canceled.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh my God, that was so unexpected.
Oops, he came out as
Like,
a
I
bigot
don't know.
right here.
You know, church fathers will do that too.
They do a lot. True. Was out of nowhere.
I posted that thing a while back about one of them.
Oh yeah, I remember you doing that.
Yeah, that was pretty wild, and that's just thrown in there out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. So this is how the defect of femaleness became apparent. But
So
then there's
I'm
a
gonna
note.
guess that the author of Eugnostos the Blessed went through a breakup, and then wrote this section.
It says the defect of femaleness refers to the fallen state of the world below, often described as being due to Sophia's mistake.
All right, because Sophia produces Yaldabaoth or
Yeah.
Sakla.
Yeah. So, the first eternal realm is that of immortal humanity.
So even the fucking Gnostics can't get over the whole
Nope.
woman or the origin of all sin and evil.
Yep, they're
and it makes
inherently
sense
evil.
because they pop
Apparently.
up between a Greek tradition, which holds the Pandora tradition, and they pop up between the Hebrew tradition, which has the Eve tradition. And both of these blame women for everything wrong that's ever happened in the world.
Essentially, yeah. Or for like the big stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, the first eternal realm is that of immortal humanity. The second eternal realm is that of the child of humanity, called the first one to conceive. The third is that of the offspring of the child of humanity, called the Savior. What holds these is the realm over which there is no kingdom, the realm of the eternal infinite God, the aeon of aeons of the immortals in it, the aeon above the eighth realm that appeared in chaos. The eighth realm, or Ogdoad, is often understood to be the sphere of the fixed stars, and even the abode of the creator of this world. The exalted God then dwells beyond that.
Also, I like how they refer to like outer space as chaos.
Right, yeah.
Right? Like
They're not wrong. Have you been
They're
out
not
there?
wrong, yeah.
the deep oceans are the abyss. Outer space is chaos.
No. The oceans are also chaos.
Are they?
Yeah,
No, you have a Tiamat and an Abzu, right? They're different entities.
right, yeah. So you still like it's still like thought of as like the chaos waters.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
still
thought the abyss was implied to be far underwater.
well, it gets like a little more complicated over time, right? But like
It's got different varying mythos at this point.
we don't have like a good at least I haven't seen like a good diachronic treatment of some of this stuff because like the texts are few, admittedly, or we have a good amount of text, but then kind of placing like there's just not enough info on like those specific things that we're looking for to kind of build that theology. Like there's just not there's a lot of stuff, but not the stuff we need. So essentially,
I also wonder how they created this mythology. Obviously, there's a procession, right? These are not all written at the same time by the same groups, right? The Gospel of Judas is arguably not a Sethian text, but I'd say it's probably a Sethian text. It probably predates Sethian groups that would engage in the same ideas.
well, they would write the stuff as the thing.
Eugnostos, you're taking forever to finish. All right.
Hey, this is a cool text
You're
though.
not wrong. It's just we've got 5 more chapters or
It's
pages.
I promise it's
We
fine.
have
Oh, is it because
we
of a
have
bunch of fractured
page.
text?
We have a page.
We have
Oh,
a
wow.
But
page.
it's 5 pages in the manuscripts.
Oh, scary. Never mind.
So the immortal human revealed realms, powers, and kingdoms, and gave authority to everyone who came from him to make whatever they wanted until the days above chaos. Which I'm guessing is just supposed to be the days over chaos.
Nope, when we
like
go to
until
outer
you control
space.
chaos. I'm guessing. But also we're on 86.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Who came from him to make whatever they wanted until the days above chaos.
Okay.
Oh, is it until the days that they like transcend or something?
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
you know about tulpas?
Yes.
I do.
So you know every single character in this book
Essentially Tulpa, yeah.
is a tulpa.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, I'm going to create tulpas that can create tulpas and
Right,
just
yeah.
let them do their thing. Tulpas are interesting. A lot of modern occultists use terms like egregore,
Yeah.
but egregores are not tulpas.
No.
No.
What are
tulpas
entities?
way
Are any of
more
these
specific.
entities?
This is way cooler, yeah.
Yeah, this is like this would imply that the world is like tulpa world.
It is, yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, they came together with each other and disclosed every majesty, even from spirit, and a multitude of lights.
Keep in mind that disclosed refers to reproduction.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
And a multitude of lights, glorious and without number. The first, second, and third eternal realms were given names in the beginning. The first, the middle, and the perfect names.
Because perfection would be the end.
Right, yeah. The first call was called Unity and Rest. Each has its own name. The third realm was called Assembly, after the great multitude that appeared in the one who is many. So when the many gather and experience unity, they are called the assembly. From the assembly that surpasses heaven.
Okay, so like originally there's this unity, they get broken up in the
They get divided when they're all named and
then
stuff.
they reunite in the assembly. And
Right.
that's step 3. That's the perfection.
So now we're on to 87. The assembly of the 8th realm was shown to be androgynous.
Okay.
And was given male and female names. The male part was called the assembly, and the female life, to indicate that from a female came life in all the realms. So you have this. All right. So in order to create, okay, so you have these distinctive features, right? These distinctive features of the world and in their cosmology, right? And this kind of self-reflection has created everything. And you have this hierarchy of self-reflected beings, of thought forms, right?
Right, but
in order to actually make them, you needed Sophia. You needed that female part.
well, because the female part is just the creative process, right? We have female parallels to all of the male names, right? So like the one who was not begotten, and then the self-begotten. These are all creative, reproductive references, right? And then all of the Sophia references are their own thing, but they're supposed to be parallel to each other. They're supposed to be within the same being.
Yeah. Which is why when they mate, you get more stuff.
Yes. What's more interesting about the cosmology here, I think, is that it is Tulpa world, but all of these things are still they're within the self-reflection
of the father.
The forefather.
Yeah, forefather.
Right. Well, they're in the self-reflection of the father, which is in the self-reflection of the forefather. And so if all of these things are self-reflected concepts, then surely there is some parallel to them outside of the father, which is the self-conception of the forefather, but within the forefather itself, which have not been named, because presumably he's not smart enough. Well, like really, like he doesn't have the ability. He can self-reflect, but in engaging in self-reflection, he's not reflecting on other things. He's only reflecting on other things in the context of his self-reflection. Right. So it's different. Very different.
It is different. Let's continue on.
Where are you?
Right here. Yeah, the new section. The names of the eternal realms.
Give it to me for the last sections.
All right.
There's only this.
Yeah, you can take a nap, Lawrence. Go ahead, lay down.
So we're talking about the names of the eternal realms, all come from above. All the names came from the original source. That's the one who came together with thought and powers called gods appeared. From their considerations, the gods revealed gods of gods, and from their considerations, the gods of gods revealed lords of lords, and from their words, the lords of lords revealed lords, and gave their powers the lords. And from their powers, the lords revealed archangels, and the archangels revealed angels, and from them came the ideas. 88. With structure and form for naming all the aeons and their worlds.
So, okay. So they kind of really quickly went through all that.
Yeah. So there's gods. Then,
so there are
the original source has thought.
Yeah.
This produces powers which are called gods.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So then those powers
Produce gods of gods.
They
Because
produce gods.
there
of gods.
are greater and lesser ones among them.
Sure.
I
Okay.
guess. And from their considerations, I guess that would be the male and female divide, right?
Sure.
The gods of gods. From their consideration, the gods of gods revealed lords of lords. And from their words, the lords of lords revealed lords. From their powers, lords revealed archangels. The archangels revealed angels. From them came the ideas.
Okay, so this is the explanation of. So this is the hierarchy, but the hierarchy is explained by them creating things that are under them, right?
Yes.
So it's not like they were created in that state, like all at once, right?
Mm-mm.
It's so instead of God saying, "Hey, in one moment creating an angel and an archangel," and then
No, this is those egregores making more egregores and how that changed over time.
Well, in
Right?
a way,
this is
a
the Enoch
hierarchy.
thing.
Yeah, it's a hierarchy, but it's a hierarchy of self-reflections
It
upon
is.
self-reflections.
Yeah.
So these are just differing aspects or subcategories of the same things fundamentally, and from them we get names for things, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I guess the idea would be like something like, we start with a name for humans. If we were to think about this scientifically, we start with a name for humans, but then we get a name for Homo sapiens, and then we get a name for mammals. And
Yeah.
and
So
then-
it goes up. It's the nested hierarchy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Aaron would love this because this is cladistics.
I don't know. Would Aaron love this, or would he be like, "Oh no, my phylogenetic challenge it has been defeated by the Gnostics"?
Yeah, long ago, in the distant past.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe I should bring that up to him. Be like, hey, what do you
do you think
how
of
does
the
your phylogeny
genetics?
challenge stand up to this?
Terry the
How does
Bass.
this? Yeah, Terry the Bass has got you.
Yeah, Terry the Based. All the immortals I've described, all of them have authority from the power of the immortal human and his companion Sophia, who was called Silence.
Now she's called Silence.
She was named Silence because she perfected her own majesty by reflecting without speaking.
Okay,
So we finally...
She got out of the
Finally.
cycle. She's in the forefathers' envisionment of silence.
Well, no, she would be...
remember the Silence thing from before, right?
Well,
From
there's
the other book.
silence, and then there's the silence of
Silence.
silence, and then there's the silence which proceeds from the silence
Right.
inside of the silence of silence. And,
Which we did talk about.
but it makes sense now because the silence is just a reference to Sophia. And Sophia, we've had numerous Sophias, numerous different versions
Iterations,
of
yeah.
Sophia. So
They're all different. They're different reflections of Sophia.
yeah,
So she like put herself up to match herself with the father.
yeah. The imperishable beings had authority, and each established great kingdoms in all the immortal heavens and their firmaments, and thrones and temples for their own majesty.
Don't let nobody tell you got a small brain, Ruben.
Chickens have very small brains. Chickens?
Are you calling yourself a chicken?
No, but the
What are you,
size
chicken?
the size of the brain is not necessarily the important thing. It's
Fine.
the-
Your
the
neural
ratio.
density and
Connections.
average distribution of neurons to spaces between them is great. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. There you go.
Obviously demonstrating your neural networks there.
Wow. Whoopee.
Anyways, final section. The eternal realms are completed.
Are we on?
Oh, we're still on 88. Some of these indwellings and chariots were in ineffable glory and could not be sent into any creature, and they produced for themselves hosts of angels, myriads without number, to serve 89 and glorify them, as well as virgin spirits and ineffable lights. They are free of sickness and weakness. There is only will, and it comes to expression at once.
All right, then.
Thus the eternal realms were completed, with their heavens and firmaments, for the glory of the immortal human and his companion Sophia. This is where the ideas were for all the realms and their worlds, and those that were to follow, to provide patterns for those who would resemble them in the heavens and the worlds of chaos. All natures, from the immortal one, from the unconceived one, to the revelation in chaos, are in the light that shines with no shadow, but with ineffable joy and unspeakable praise. They continue to rejoice over their glory that never fades, and the state of rest that cannot be measured, which can neither be described, 90,
Oh, boy.
nor conceived among all the realms that have come to be, and their powers. This is enough. I have told you all this so that you might accept it until one who does not need to be taught appears among you. That one, will tell you all these things in joy and pure knowledge. Eugnostos the Blessed. The final paragraph of text, with its statement about the one who is to come, may have been prompted a Christian editor to rework Eugnostos the Blessed into a Christian text, with an identification of Jesus as the Savior who reveals all these things and more in the wisdom of Jesus Christ, which is the next book.
Okay.
Here, the Codex 5 version reads, "This is enough for you. I have told you all this so that you might keep it until the word that does not need to be taught comes forth among you.
There you go.
It will
That's the
interpret
word.
these things for you in unified and pure gnosis. For whoever has will be given more."
Okay.
Which is a Christian teaching. Also, whoever has less will be given is a Christian thing. But they've also said in Christian texts, in the Bible, the canonical Bible, they've said that those who are in possession of faith or righteousness will be given even more, right? So that would make sense as a Christian interpolation. I'm just going to look at the
wisdom of Jesus Christ.
The wisdom of Jesus Christ, because the wisdom of Jesus Christ.
How long does it look? 3?
It's
maybe?
it's like 2-3 episodes, much like Eugnostos the Blessed. It looks like a lot of it is reformatted to be like it's a story about Matthew and Philip.
Okay.
And
Interesting. Well, I mean, I guess if they're
he's
like talking to them.
Yeah, he's talking to them. Oh, it's much like the Gospel of Judas then.
Sure,
insofar as he's delivering teachings. But then there's Mary too.
Sure, yeah, of course.
And
I remember the importance of Mary in the
Bartholomew.
Thomas.
Bartholomew shows up.
Okay.
There's
Chris, you got a problem. He's
I have problems.
Yeah, Chris.
There's silly and mundane problems that no one needs to worry about.
He's adding a lot of
That's a problem. I know I have it.
Yeah. You know, the wisdom of Jesus Christ might be interesting. A lot of it seems...
Don't let me take 30
it
products.
talks about the earthly Adam. It talks about aeons. It talks about Sophia and the one who is, right? So it seems like much of it is like Eugnostos the Blessed, but it's reformatted to be...
Specifically, like a far more Christian context.
Far more Christian.
Yeah, because this looks like...
Lots of Christian characters.
Yeah, this looks like... it's interesting that they would reformat that, right?
Get them all?
Because they had this was
max
kind of a Jewish work in many ways. Like
in many ways,
it's obviously it's like heavily influenced by.
Well, there's
no
no Marian concept in it.
Second Temple Judaism and like especially like during those later phases and the Hellenistic ideas.
Because the Jews do believe in a Messiah. It's not just a Christian thing.
Right, yeah. So, but it is interesting that they would rework that the Christians later would rework some of that stuff. So, yeah, I'm actually very interested to see how and there was already like a precedent for that stuff because, or maybe I'm not sure about already. I'm not.
But maybe
like
next time
we'll
cover
dating.
the
I don't know.
wisdom
This
of
seems
Jesus Christ.
pretty. It'd have to be pretty early, I would think.
Yeah.
But you remember in Was it in Second Enoch?
Well, I wouldn't think that it's very early. It seems to reference a lot of other materials.
It does,
I would think that
yeah.
the Secret Book of John is definitely around at this time.
Sure, yeah.
There's probably a lot. The Gospel of Judas is
So maybe
definitely
second or
around
third
at this
century then.
time.
So yeah, not super early, but I guess by that time then they probably would I think they probably would have had maybe they would have had which Enoch was that? Was that Second Enoch, the one where they have that hierarchy of angels?
I think that was 30 now.
Yeah, that's
That third
third.
Enoch? Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, that was Slavonic.
Yeah, so I was third.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. So
Is there a fourth Enoch?
nah, not
No.
don't think
We
so.
got to write that. All right.
Wow, okay. But either way, yeah, there's kind of a precedent for this kind of hierarchy.
Anyways, final thoughts on Eugnostos the Blessed.
It kind of rambled at the end there, so I'll give it a 9.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's like parallels on parallels on parallels. It tells, and I mean the
It
cosmology.
starts off very funny.
It starts off very funny. It goes into a lot of details about things, but unfortunately, where it fails is that there are like several logical contradictions, and
That too.
it's impossible. If you're like just thinking about this as okay, the silence is Sophia, which is a good twist at the end.
True,
that
yeah.
the silence is
If
Sophia.
you paid attention the whole time.
Yeah,
right?
out of fucking nowhere too with the sexism.
Right.
Yeah, out
Oh,
of
right.
nowhere.
Yeah, I'm going to lower my rating from a 10 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10 for sexism.
Sure, yeah.
Random and arbitrary women did it.
Like I think, yeah, it was still like a pretty interesting book. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was like, yeah,
There are a
this
lot
is
of
how
contradictions.
the defect of femaleness became apparent.
Well,
Jesus,
yeah.
It's extreme, too. It's pretty intense.
So I'll give it like an 8. It has some problems.
Sure.
It has some writing problems, and it has some reasoning problems.
Sure,
But
that's fair. Yeah.
it is a good book.
I'm fine with 8.5. Or yeah,
Compared to a lot of the stuff that we've read,
Oh, God.
true.
it's better than that.
Much better.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
It's no J.R.R. Tolkien or anything.
I think it's better.
No, way. you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even have the context to like begin understanding the multiple languages that Tolkien invented just for individual species. There are multiple forms of Elvish, Lawrence.
I mean, obviously he worked very hard, but Eugnostos
and you've also
the
never
Blessed,
read it.
Also, Eugnostos the Blessed is
He's blessed.
he's giving us information about the nature of reality here. So he's obviously worked harder.
And Tolkien said, "Stop looking for fucking parallels. Stop looking for metaphors. I'm telling a story here. It's not about like World War I or any shit like that.
Well, you're
God damn it, guys.
Sauron represents
It's not Catholic propaganda
Italy
either.
in the front that they were on during World War II. Yeah, with Mussolini's front.
Obviously, that's what it's about.
Anyways,
Yeah, that was a fun
Eugnostos
read.
book. Good book.
Yep. All right. Good reading, guys.
We'll get into I guess the wisdom of Jesus Christ next.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then maybe Pistis Sophia.
Yeah,
There
we
you go.
got a whole bunch of text to read.
And eventually, I mean, we could cover
We
Christian
pinned some shirts. Thanks
Apocrypha
for watching.
eventually.
Well, I mean, that is kind of Christian. But anyways, yes, join the Discord. Patreon could... oh, shit. Yeah, well, we'll do that next
never
week.
read we read fucking tons of Jewish texts.
Hello? Tomer, have you been alive for the past few years? We've been doing this a bunch.
This Star Wars is to the Vietnam War.
No, what are you... right here. We read from this.
Constantly.
The Old Testament pseudepigrapha.
Volumes 1 and 2.
Right, yeah. Like, we read a whole bunch of Jewish works. Get out of here.
Okay,
Get out of here, Tomer.
We're gonna get out of here.
All right. And unless he's talking about, like, the Talmud or something. And that doesn't count. That's not a real thing.
Oh, that does. You mean the Talmud? Okay, we're gonna
Like,
sit here.
Mishnah text.
Okay, so if there's an earthquake
No, he doesn't mean that.
and a single floor falls in an apartment building, and you're in the upper apartment and you need to use the restroom, but the path to the restroom is blocked off because there's a hole in the floor, then the Sanhedrin, in all of its wisdom, has determined that you may go down into your neighbor's apartment downstairs and use the restroom in order to relieve yourself. There's a whole section in the Gemara about that. And it goes wild. It's not just that. It goes into every single little
I
intricacy.
thought we read 3
like-
and 4 Maccabees.
well,
No,
if
we
you-
read
No.
one. And,
We
read the
have
first
Why are we
never
not
touched
there
it.
yet? Damn.
Because we didn't want to read the Maccabees story
a bunch of
again.
Maccabees in a row.
Yeah.
There's also the Ethiopian Maccabees, which are different than those Maccabees. So like there is first and second Maccabees in Ethiopian, but they're different books that are first and second Maccabees.
Yep. Entirely almost.
How would we like denote Ethiopian first Maccabees? Because it's
we
like
can spell it
one
differently.
Mac.
Sometimes
two
they
Mac.
spell it differently.
Eth Mac 1.
We can spell it with like Q's.
Or we could be like E1 Mac or
You could, yeah.
E2 Mac.
Oh, whatever.
Either way, join the Discord, join the Patreon.
Amazon wish list.
Yes, that.
Buy us books.
Yes.
And
And
buy other things. Tell Lawrence that you'll send him things, and then he'll give you an address to send them to, and then package yourself up in a cardboard box and ship yourself as a present to Lawrence, and then tell him that he has to take care of you now using his Milwaukee Atheists income.
Yeah. Good luck.
all right then. Yeah, do that.
If you want to support the show.
Yeah. And in the meantime, we will see
you
you
on
on
Wednesday.
Wednesday.